directly from the students of Airwaves Media. Bringing you news in and around Alma High School. You're watching the Airedale.
Welcome to the Airedale. I'm Destiny Wheeler.
And I'm Ben Mitchell. Today we'll be covering the AHS Greenhouse, Veterans Day, Computer Science Credit, plus much more coming up on the Airedale. Have you seen the silly little buildings outside the school? The ones with the plants in them? Well, Miss Ford has been remodeling and cleaning up those buildings, which just so happens to be the greenhouses. Here's Louis Alexander to seat us with some knowledge and an interview with Miss Ford.
Recently here at the high school, Miss Ford has been remodeling and redoing the greenhouses. Let's see what she's been up to.
I think that we'll be up and running within the next 2 weeks, so that's my plan. We have some wiring that needs to be done in our other greenhouse. I got to take over another one, so...
Miss Ford is doing this with her environmental science students, and they have been gaining community service hours for helping out.
I have roughly 65 environmental science students, so we can split our time between two greenhouses now. And so my goal is this year, if we get both of these functioning and we have gorgeous plants, that next year we'll get an even bigger greenhouse and have even more to do. So we're going to be propagating plants, which means we're going to take existing plants and be able to regrow those in new pots and make more plants out of those. Some of those the students will get to take home.
This has been Louis Alexander with Airwaves Media.
November 11th is more than just a date on a calendar. It's Veterans Day, a time to honor brave individuals who have served our country, those who made the ultimate sacrifice, and those who continue to stand strong. Let's join Hunter Cole as he delves into the significance of this important day.
Veterans Day is on November 11th, but some people don't know why it is important. I spoke to Senior Chief Peel and AHS Principal Kirkendall for more about Veterans Day.
I think Veterans Day is important because it allows, the citizens of this country to acknowledge the sacrifices made to all the veterans who did provide military service to this country. The sacrifices that they made, the sacrifices that their family made. It's a chance to honor those living veterans in a meaningful way.
If you're, as an American, it's a privilege to have Veterans Day. Veterans Day sometimes gets confused with Memorial Day. They're separate days. Obviously, one is in November, on November the 11th. The other one takes place in the fall, or earlier in the fall. And Veterans Day is set aside for veterans who honorably served the United States military.
Veterans Day was previously known as Armistice Day, which was to celebrate the signing of the armistice that brought the end to World War I.
Veterans Day, the reason it exists is because after World War I, there was a day set aside that was initially called Armistice Day. And Armistice Day was on the 11th day of the 11th month and the 11th hour.
I asked Mr. Kirkendall what his personal thoughts on Veterans Day are, and here's what he said.
As a veteran myself and as someone who loves America, it's a privilege to have Veterans Day. And I think it's very important to honor veterans. I'm glad that our government is closed during those days.
This is Hunter Cole with Airwaves Media.
From creating apps to analyzing data, computer science is powering our world. Did you know that our own high school offers computer science credits? This not only opens up new learning opportunities, but it can also be a game changer for college applications. Now, let's connect with Caden Daspit, who's ready to decode more about these exciting computer science credits at our high school.
Alma High School is handing out an exciting offer to seniors, the opportunity to virtually earn a computer science credit. The school is offering this only to seniors, and it has some benefits along with it. The lesson will be given through Apex, an online learning program. Apex allows you to move at your own pace and get work done when you wish. If seniors want to obtain this opportunity, they can email Dr. Reeves, and Dr. Reeves will put them on the list. Once on the list, they will be drafted by Coach March for RTI until their work is finished. Once they are finished, the grade will be put in if it helps your GPA, or just stay as a P for passing, so there's no risks. Once your lesson is fully completed, you get to stay in the arena Tuesday through Friday for RTI for the rest of the year and not be drafted. For more information, email Dr. Reeves. This has been Caden Daspit with Airwaves Media.
We have a lot of great and talented people here at Alma School District. One of those is Mr. Banks. Not only is he an amazing author, but he's quite the ambitious one too. Here is Abigail Spencer to pick his brain a little bit.
Mr. Banks has been substituting for Alma for a long time, but he doesn't just sub. He's also a self-published author and is known for writing westerns based on Arkansas cities.
The first published work was Fort Whiskey. It was based off of a story that my grandmother told many years ago. I heard it when I was probably 17, 18. And it was a story about my grandfather's grandfather and his brothers who were forced to watch their father get hanged in front of them by three really bad men. The Reed brothers made a pact to hunt down, find, and kill those men to avenge their father.
Mr. Banks tries to incorporate local artists into his works if he can. His children's books, The Children's Garden, was illustrated by Kirsten Combs, a Prairie Grove native.
I just finished this new version of Gumtown Detective Agency. The dream is traditional publishing, but it's very hard. You have to be discovered.
Mr. Banks has big dreams for his books. This has been Abigail Spencer for Airwaves Media.
A little while ago, our AHS band went on a competition spree. All of our band members are super duper talented, and here's Destiny Wheeler to put us in with the brass.
With the year coming off to a great start, there are many different organizations who have been going to several competitions, including band, who will be competing in several different ones this semester. Here's Mr. Townsend with more information about these competitions.
This year the band is going to be competing at 4 or 5 different competitions. We had one Saturday at War Eagle, which is at Heritage High School in Rogers. We finished second in our class and 4th overall. So a good start. We go tomorrow night, Tuesday, to Region Assessment, which is our qualifier for state. So hopefully we'll do well then. Next Saturday, we go to the Northwest Arkansas Invitational, which is in Siloam Springs. We've gone there before, and we've been very successful. And then we close the year on October 31st, Halloween night, with our state competition in Little Rock and War Memorial Stadium.
Wow, that sounds very stressful. How do these students feel about going to all these competitions? Well, here are a few students ready to tell us.
I feel good about them. I feel like we're going to do pretty good with them. Like, we perform well. Like, competitions are always the most fun thing that you can do during marching band. You get to see other bands. You get to see all their shows, how cool they are. Yeah, all that.
This is Destiny Wheeler with Airwaves Media. Everyone loves Alma Theater, but who creates the sets and sets up the stage for Alma Theater's many productions? The answer is a class here at Alma High School called Technical Theater. Stetson Goodson talked to Paul Szymanski, the shop foreman, about what technical theater is about.
Technical theater is the backstage part of theater that helps bring it to life. It can range from rigging, light, set designing, and audio. All of these parts help turn people talking on a stage into a full-blown production. Technical theater class is currently working on 2 sets. One is Fiddler on the Roof, and the other is for one act called Wrong Number. They just finished working on a set for Under the Hawthorn Tree. While working on so many sets, problems can arise.
Supply issues. Mainly is a large problem. I have to procure all the items and stuff that go into the sets. So if I go to the store, different stores and stuff, and they don't have the items that I need, so I have to pre-plan and get everything in advance.
An outlet for creativity is definitely the biggest incentive for students to join technical theater class. This has been Stetson Goodson with Airwaves Media.
Precision, patience, and focus. These are the hallmarks of marksmanship. And right here in our high school, students are honing these very skills through our marksmanship program. Whether they're aiming for a college scholarship or simply challenging themselves, these students are on target for success. Let's turn it over to Jace Coleman, who's locked and loaded, to give us a closer look at high school marksmanship.
NJROTC is a popular program here at Alma High School, and marksmanship is one of the many things students learn in this program.
I am the Senior Naval Science Instructor for the Alma High School Navy Junior ROTC program.
The requirements for joining the marksmanship program is that a student needs to pass the safety test mandated by the civilian marksmanship program with 100%. No higher, no lower.
So the Crosman Challenger air rifle is a compressed air rifle. It uses a scuba tank cylinder and an internal storage cylinder to use the compressed air to propel a 177 caliber pellet, the same pellet that most pellet rifles use. We use a competition grade pellet, which is much more accurate, a lot less lead.
Scoring is also a major part. In order to be competition ready, students must score a 70 or higher. I am Jace Coleman for Airways Media.
The way a person dresses is often a defining feature of one's personality, yet the debate continues about whether dress code should or shouldn't be considered. Kenna Jones dives deep into the subject and finds out how students of Alma High School feel about dress code.
There have been many changes in the original dress code at Alma High School, but it has had the same layout.
Right now, the biggest dress code violations that we're dealing with for females are midriff showing and shorts or skirts being too short. For males, sometimes it seems to be more inappropriate shirts and possibly pajama pants. So just kind of depends on that, but those are the violations we've seen the most this year.
We asked a couple of students how they feel about the school's dress code, and here's what they said.
Considering a lot of people are different heights and different sizes, the length could be a lot different for different people.
I don't like it, but sometimes it's understandable when those girls be wearing too much. Those guys be wearing those sleeveless shirts.
If you don't have a dress code in the school, the people go to the school in underwear, you know? And it's so weird.
If you ever do get dress coded, you would be asked to change or have a parent bring clothes to you. However, if that is not possible, you could look through the clothes that the school has provided. If you get dress coded at school, you will be asked to change, but if you repeatedly get dress coded, you could get lunch detention, SDCs, or even suspension.
The biggest thing about a dress code in a school environment is really just helping students understand that there is a standard that they need to meet, a professional standard. Right now, school is your job, and there's going to be a standard when you're in the real world, when you're working or even in college to look professional and to look like you're supposed to. So we're just trying to help students learn and understand that there are standards that you have to meet to be successful in society, and we just want that to be clear while we're here in high school as a learning opportunity.
If you have any questions about the dress code, you can go to the student handbook on the Alma website. This has been Kenna Jones for Airways Media.
There's an addiction that's running rampant with high school-age teens that's surprisingly common with high school students. Shayla Ritchie and Lee Nichols have given us an inside look on how vaping affects Alma High School as a whole.
Vaping is a big problem in high school. According to the Food and Drug Administration, about 2.5 million high school students vape in the U.S. If caught in school, you'll be punished.
Caught with a vape, you're going to be suspended for 3 days. You have the opportunity, if you choose, to pay a $20 fee to take a vape educate course and do one of those 3 days as in SDC.
Vaping can harm the parts of the brain that control attention, learning, mood, and impulse control. If you feel like you need to help quit vaping, see a counselor.
Continued vaping occurrences, the second offense is a 5-day out of school suspension, the third offense is a 10-day out of school suspension, and you could, depends on the situation, be issued a citation by our school resource officer.
This is Shayla and Lee for Airways Media.
Here at Alma High School, science fair is required with any student who is taking an AP science class. Science fair is also an event that many students look forward to every year, and it's coming up very soon. Kenton Huggins and Peyton Griffith have more on this topic.
Science fair is a big deal, and despite being in February, students are already starting their projects and doing research.
Science fair is a competition of student research where students conduct research and experimentation throughout the year, and then they get the opportunity to present that research in 17 different categories, and the winners of that competition then get to move on to a regional competition with a chance to move on to state and all the way up to international competition. Top 3 winners in each category are going to qualify to go to regional competition, and so the regional competition is where all of the schools that participate in science fair in the Northwest Arkansas region will all present their research again. It'll be held on the University of Arkansas Fayetteville campus in March. Once we come back from Christmas break, typically we are finalizing our experiments and our data collection. Once that is complete, then students are ready to compete in the science fair, which is on February 1st.
Students also have an opportunity to win cash prizes based on their performance in the science fair. Best of luck to everybody participating in science fair. This has been Kenton Huggins and Peyton Griffith for Airwaves Media.
The safety of our students during their bus rides to and from school is a very important thing here at Alma. But what is the best way for everyone to stay safe on the bus? Ethan Moore looks more into this topic.
Alma School District has 24 bus routes to get students to school and back home safe. Bus drivers are required to take a minimum of 24 hours of training to ensure the safety of all passengers they are responsible for. Bus inspections are one part of the process of keeping everything safe. The safety of a bus itself is only a part of the bus safety. Those who ride the bus must follow the rules in order to keep everyone safe.
I think one of the most important rules for the buses is not behaving in a distracting manner. That can take many different forms, from bothering other students, to yelling, to getting up and moving around, to distracting the driver. This driver is going down the road. If this thing is loaded, it could have 30,000 pounds going down the road of students and metal and rubber tires. And it just takes a split second for an accident to happen. And so our number one job is to get students safely to school and back home. And that happens when we have good rules that are followed, with students not distracting the driver. Every minute that the driver has to look up in the mirror, or every second that he has to look up in the mirror rather than looking at the road or looking at his mirrors, is potential for an accident, for something unsafe to happen. So I would say the most important would be not distracting the driver.
Cameras on the bus help to ensure safety by deterring people from doing wrong while traveling on the bus.
It begins with training for drivers. Before a driver can even drive a bus, they have to go through 24 hours of training. That does include student management, but also handling the bus. Before any trip, we have to do what's called a pre-trip, and there's a set of steps we have to go through on the bus, checking anything from brakes and tires to fluid levels, to making sure that there's no students left on the bus. There's pre-trip and post-trip procedure that we have to go through. We also ensure student safety through regular training of our drivers. Every year, a driver has to go through 3 hours of state-mandated training and school bus safety. We also do our own in-house from time to time, and through bulletins, and if need be, one-on-one with drivers. We also ensure student safety through the drills that we practice of how to safely get off a bus in an emergency. We do that from the front end and the rear end. There's different reasons why you'd have to get students off the front end and off the back end, and so we practice that with students twice a year. There's many other things that we do, from the cameras. They help ensure safety because students know, hey, I'm on camera if I misbehave, so it helps with behavior issues.
This is Ethan Moore with Airwaves.
Choir is a very popular activity in high schools across the country, with about 13% of high school students enrolling in a choir class. But now, Doni Bromagen takes a closer look at the choir programs here at Alma High School.
Choir is a popular class to take that helps students learn a wide range of skills. They are working hard to get themselves ready for all region assessments. We've spoken to a choir student about their experience.
Choir is it's so fun. You get to be with your friends, you get to sing, and all region, and there's so many opportunities.
Choir is a great opportunity for students to learn how to work with others while learning how to sing.
These teachers are amazing. All the choir teachers are great. They teach you and help you learn choir and sing and test your limits.
If you are interested in having fun, showcasing your vocal skills, you may want to join choir.
choir with your friends is like amazing. We get to go on field trips and just all that stuff. Test our opportunities and all of that. And it's just so good.
This is Donnie Bromgen for Airwaves Media.
High school is a very stressful place in many young people's lives, from deadlines on complicated projects to toxic classmates. High school may not always be a safe place to share your ideas. Here, Christopher French and JJ Stovall take a deeper look into this taboo topic.
Stress and anxiety is common for high school students. More than 61% of students from ages 13 to 17 have stress. Sometimes counseling may be the way to go. This is what Ms. Medina has to say about why students have stress.
With high school students, I would say the number one stressor for high school students is usually social issues.
Here is Ms. Medina with some reasons and ways to deal with stress.
There's a lot of different ways. It kind of depends on the kid and what works best for them. So we kind of give them some options. Some of the options are like breathing techniques and stuff like that. When I did elementary school, I did a lot of stress relievers with the hand because kids kind of understood hand, but it also works for like adults and kids too, teenagers, is like tracing your hand for breathing techniques. So you breathe in and out, real slowly.
This has been JJ Stovall and Chris French for Airwaves Media.
Although Halloween passed a week ago, we here at Airwaves are just so passionate about our news stories that we're still going to talk about it. Anyways, Halloween existed for over 1,000 years and has gained popularity and importance ever since its creation. Here's Ben Mitchell with a bit of an explanation.
Halloween, Hallows Eve, All Saints' Eve, all of these are names for the commonly practiced Christian tradition held on October 31st, the day before the much more esoteric All Hallows Day on November 1st, which itself is a day before All Souls' Day. Since the beginning of Christian faith, celebrations and large feasts have been commonplace on important days like Christmas, Easter, and Pentecost. However, regardless of personal feelings, it's a pretty universal truth that Halloween holds the most ascetic atmosphere. That is, fear itself. This atmosphere comes from many different places, from Old English tradition and Spanish beliefs, all the way to Scottish nomenclature and religion, all mixed into one to make the glorious celebration of fear and high blood sugar that we see today. Regardless of how you feel about the tradition, no one can disagree that it's at least interesting to hear about. Anyways, this was Ben Mitchell with Airwaves Media, and have a great holiday season. It's a festive time of year with events and social gatherings going on throughout the whole community. Peyton Phillips jumped at the chance to look into one of the spookier events here in Alma as we take a look at Boo Fest.
When Halloween arrives, so does the Alma Boo Fest, a family-friendly event that happens to take place in downtown Alma. But what does the Alma Boo Fest really have to offer? Boo Fest offered multiple different free things. Some of those things are hot chocolate, coffee, and of course candy for the little ones. Another thing is the Halloween costume contest that was held that ranged from children, teens, and even adults.
I just got here, but I like how there's so much people having so much fun.
I kind of just got here, but I like how I can see my friends and hang out with them outside of school.
What do you like about Boo Fest?
The music. Yeah, and the costumes.
This is such a fun event for the community as people are excited for what next year has to bring. This is Peyton C. Phillips for Airwaves Media.
Football at Alma High School isn't always just about fierce competition and serious gameplay. Sometimes it's all about flipping the script and having fun. Welcome to Powder Puff Football, where the girls take over the gridiron and the guys swap their helmets for pom-poms. Now let's hand it off to Sarah Nutt, who's ready to tackle this quirky details of this delightful, unconventional football showdown.
Alma High School has a yearly tradition that many people sign up to watch and participate in, and that tradition is called Powder Puff Football. Powder Puff Football is like a regular football game, but the roles are reversed. Girls sign up to play the game, and boys sign up to be on the cheer team. A Powder Puff football game takes a lot of time and preparation to put together. Mrs. Jocelyn shares the steps it takes for the game to even happen.
We set up with student council the whole premise of signing up during lunches, getting coaches, from the high school football team that wants to participate as being a coach, and then we allow time and space for them to be drafted, and basically our next responsibilities are making sure that we have referees, the chain gang, and things like that.
Mrs. Jocelyn shares her favorite part about the Powder Puff experience.
We don't often see women in that regard. We tend to think of them as a more ladylike or non-contact type sports. But when you watch Powder Puff football, we realize that they're just as aggressive, and they tend to hold a grudge when they lose as well.
This year, the game will be taking place on November 13th. It costs $1 or a canned food item to enter, and Alma High School would love to see you there. I'm Sarah Nutt with Airwaves Media.
Thanks for watching this episode of the Airedale, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and social medias at Airwaves Media. And as always, go Airedales!